Welcome to Press Play Again. 2 roommates, 1 remote. The Rewatch podcast where we dive back into the shows and movies we couldn't stop talking about in college and probably still can't. We're your hosts, Anna and Megan. 2 roommates with 1 remote, ready to laugh, debate, and maybe get a little too nostalgic as we revisit the classics and discover a few new favorites along the way. So grab your popcorn, press play, and hang out with us as we rewind it all, episode by episode, movie by movie. Or friendship right there. Yes. It felt like, oh my gosh.
Yes. It's like, if y'all could all get out of your own ways and out of your own rear ends, y'all could be the best group of friends in the whole wide world.
But yeah, absolutely. But then when they're dancing and the camera moves back to Jen and Ty at the table, Jen is watching them like she has been in the other episodes, longingly and with a little bit of jealousy.
Yes.
And it was just a brief moment. It didn't last because then Ty starts talking about the fruit fly part of it all.
Well, I think that's part of what he was trying to draw her attention away from them because, number one, hey, she's there with him.
I do appreciate, though, that it's not even acknowledged with words in this scene. It's not like, so how long have you been in love with them? Or right. It's not acknowledged. It has been acknowledged in other scenes, in other episodes. It's just, we see it in the way, well, I'm sure it was on the page for her to play it that way, but we see just in her facial expression.
Well, we can read between the lines.
Absolutely. And I appreciate when shows let us read between the lines instead of just saying it with so much dialogue all the time. They just let us be smart.
Right. And it wasn't clunky. Like some things are so made way too obvious for you as the viewer to pick up on.
Stupid.
Yeah, no. That was a very well done scene, in my opinion.
You know what else I like about this teen show? Because they are teenagers who aren't doing these things every weekend. I appreciate that about Dawson's Creek is that, like, not every teenager is out partying every night of the week or weekend and drinking all the time.
I'm about to make a contradictory statement. In some aspects, it's almost like they still include a little thread of some innocence, despite
talking about sex all the time.
Yes, and some of the other things that ruin it or strip it.
Yes.
But there are some inflections of it that's like, we'll sprinkle a little bit of innocence in there just to keep it a little bit realistic.
Yeah. And I agree, they talk about it so much. But again, the innocence of even that is they're talking about it, they're not doing it.
Right.
What were we talking about it all the time? Absolutely not.
No.
But I know people who were doing it all the time.
Yeah.
So the difference in a lot of these teen dramas is like they're way too mature. And yes, Dawson's Creek talks a little mature, but the way that they act is very, sometimes even under age.
Sometimes, yeah.
In some way. You know what I mean? Like, they're talking about it, which we did not do.
Well, they're too focused on it.
Yes. It was... And I don't know, I just wasn't. I don't know if other people were talking about it all the time, and I just wasn't a part of those conversations. I have no idea. But man, yeah, it is. This show is kind of like,
I don't want to call it a balance because that's not the right word either, but it's a weird, something.
But yeah, I agree.
Let me make sure I wasn't forgetting anything. I did get tickled when Joey makes the comment. I didn't write this down, but when she makes the comment, where did he learn to play like that? And Jen says, church. Or probably church.
They crack up.
Yes.
Dawson laughs.
Yes. But I mean, I think they're a little bit tipsy or buzzed, and they're getting past themselves and just
hanging out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And That's what I mean by if they could just get out of their own way and just let themselves all be friends.
At that point, though, they didn't have anything to drink because.
Are you sure? Because if you looked around the table.
Well, I think that might have been a little later because in that exact scene,
okay,
he orders the 4 usuals. They say, "What's a usual?" And then when he says it's a stiff surprise, Joey and Dawson both say, "We'll take a Coke." Okay. As the waiter walks away, that's when Ty gets called up to play the piano.
Yeah.
And then he starts playing, and that's when they're like, "How did he learn to play like that?" And Jen says, "Church," and they're laughing. Now, there could have been like a little bit of time lapse that was just very fluid, and I didn't even notice it. And when they're talking about, well, my boyfriend might be gay, and this, and that, there could have been at that point. But at first, they just order Coke, and then I think they order.
There's martini glasses around the table.
So he ordered 4 of them.
I know.
So who drank them? Could have been any of them, but
well, they weren't. I don't think that they were empty. But Dawson's like, we'll take 3 more usuals. So
I thought he was joking when he said that.
Okay, I don't know, but I mean, when he walks Joey home, and the conversation sounds slightly slurred and a little under the influence, which sometimes helps you ask questions that you
would not normally.
Yeah.
It just,
but anyway,
I thought that it was. I liked that.
I loved that scene. I wish there was more of that.
There will be at some point. And honestly, I will go ahead and say this. I think that is why I really love the college season so much. Okay. Like, people are so against them and they just can't stand them. And there's things in it. Obviously, I love the high school seasons more. But I think they just have more of a friendship bond in the college seasons that I love. It's like, it's not the same back and forth. She likes me, but I like her, but I'm still in love with you. It's not as much of that, and you can just enjoy it, and they enjoy each other. And that's what those seasons are for me. So I think that you'll see what I'm talking about when we get to those.
I hope so.
And kind of we can think back on this and see if it is similar. But
yes,
I think they'll go ahead.
I was gonna say there's the conversation that takes place between Joey and Dawson when they're dancing, and he basically tells her that Jack's missing out by not being there with her, because of course we've not mentioned that Jack has to call and cancel their romantic evening they're supposed to have had that night because he's going to dinner with his dad and Andie.
Yeah.
And
so she decides to go with Dawson like he invited.
Yes, but I mean, even then, so I mean, I'd made a note that Jack cancels on her. Joey calls Dawson. They go with Ty and Jen to this jazz bar. So forth of this scene that we've been describing plays out. And then, she's again asking Dawson if he thinks that Jack is gay. And he admits that he's thought about it a time or two. But then we've got.
Well, and she says, well, I know him better than you. She starts to get defensive again.
Right. Well, he asks her, do you know him better than you know me, or whatever, however he phrases that.
She says no.
No.
I mean, of course she would say that.
Right. You can't.
No. She says not yet.
Right.
She says not yet.
Yes.
But then, that's when she brings up, I can see it in your eyes. I can read it in your eyes.
Yeah.
Something to that effect. And he asks her, this was, I think, the only cringy moment for Dawson for me was when he says, what are my eyes saying now?
Oh, I missed that. I must have been making a note.
Yeah.
That's awkward.
He's what are my eyes saying now? And she says, and I missed some of this because I was writing some things down, but she ends it with, they're saying it's comfortable here as friends.
Yeah.
And then she lays her head on his shoulder, and he says something like, yeah, or I'm glad you see that. I forget what he said, but it was a sweet scene, but she again reiterates as friends.
Yeah, she's hardcore friend zoning him.
But why? Because she's giving him mixed signals, not in accepting and going to hang out with him. I don't mean that's a mixed signal because
it is.
she is.
But it's been going on.
Yes, it has.
I think that Joey is just as confused about her feelings towards Dawson and fearful of letting herself fully feel them for him. As much as Jack is confused about himself.
Which I completely understand where she's coming from in that, because when she broke up with him, it was because she was afraid she was losing who she was.
Right.
Because all she had was him.
Mm-hmm.
I get that. So she is afraid to kind of jump back into that.
I think there's something, though, that's underlying that Joey can't get to or hasn't figured out yet that's truly the root of why she's not with him. Like, there's... At the end of the day, if she loved him that much and had no reservations whatsoever, she would be with him by now.
I kind of think that she knows she's not supposed to be with him.
I think that too, but that's what I'm trying to get at. I think there's a root of something that just gives her some hesitation or just whatever it is that
because when you're constantly and we'll see when they do get back together, like when you're constantly looking for a reason why you can't be together or should not be together, there's a reason for that.
Right.
If you're looking for the problem all the time.
If you've got hesitation or some reservations, there's a root and a reason for that. And don't sweep that under the rug. It's worth digging up.
Yeah. The last bit is Pacey and Andie. They have not spoken in a week, and they are both holding their ground that they both deserve apologies from one another. What?
Well, are we going to come back to Jack telling Joey?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you said the last thing, sorry. Okay, go ahead.
No, it's okay. I wrote down that I understand his side and why he is upset, and I struggled a little bit with understanding hers fully. I'm not saying she did not have a right to how she was feeling. I just struggled with fully relating to it. And I get, like, this, I have just done this thing that I was standing up for what I thought was right.
Thinking that he was defending her brother.
Got suspended. And now I haven't even heard from her. So I've completely, which I know they had that conversation on the dock, and he does let her have it just a little bit. But no communication. You would be in your head for an entire week of like, oh my gosh. And then,
and especially at 15,
you start spiraling and being like, they don't even care. She's not even going to call me. Fine. I'm so mad. And so, but she is also having the same thing because he called her weak and insensitive, and
blunt and honest there.
I just don't. I know why she was upset from the beginning. Okay. But it's like a week has passed and she is still holding strong, and it's like, you haven't even, is this just a teenage thing that you are still just focusing on the words he called you, and you haven't stopped to think about the full picture situation and what he did and what he's going through right now? Is that just an age thing? That a girl is focusing on, my boyfriend called me weak, you know? Or like, where, I don't fully get why she has the leg to stand on of like, you owe me an apology.
I don't know, other than maybe there's some aspect of this of like, somehow he's said what he said, and maybe she thinks that the ball is in his court and that it's up to him to reach out. Like, if he's so upset with me, well then, I don't know, but I'm with you. I struggle to identify with her side enough to agree. I also think that,
because where they left that conversation on the dock was him saying, I needed you. I needed you to be there. Even if you didn't agree with it, I needed you.
Yeah.
And so he leaves. And yes, he does say, I don't even really remember him calling her weak and insensitive.
I do.
Okay. I blame you. But so even him saying that, like, he left the conversation telling her, I needed you in this moment. And he leaves. So if I had been the one, if I had been Pacey in this and I left the conversation that way, I would be thinking the same thing, that she would reach out to me.
Right.
Not me have to reach out again because I told you how I felt.
Right. But she had already stated how she felt about it too. And just by the way that she approached it would have told me in his shoes, she ain't going to apologize.
Mm-mm.
And I just think that.
She also was still living in denial about her brother, though.
Oh, 1,000%.
The whole.
Well, she still is when this is taking place.
Yes, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. That's why no apology could come from either one of them, because
Right.
Pacey was still holding on to what had happened with the teacher.
Mm-hmm.
She is still living in denial that anything is happening with her brother, and what Pacey did escalated the whole thing and all of this.
Right.
And the whole apology conversation takes place after her eyes are finally open to what Jack is actually dealing with right now.
Right.
And after Pacey has now had this entire moment with the teacher.
Right. And I mean, you've got Pacey, who's almost in this mindset of like a martyr because he's been suspended and all this. And then, you know, she's in denial of her brother. And then I mean, yes, by the time that they actually finally apologize to each other and make up, it's just, I don't know. Like, I don't want to say, I'm not saying that it's a throwaway storyline, but, and I don't want to say that it's not as important, but I just feel like she has taken it way more personally than was really her place to take it. Does that make any sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
That might sound ugly, but
No. But their apology conversation was really sweet. Like,
it was cute.
I just think that Joshua Jackson has really grown into himself, and he looks so cute in this season.
Yeah.
I mean, this episode in particular, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in love with him. I'm in love with him. Everything about him. Yes. And when he walks out of the school and he sees her.
And I mean, she looked pretty in multiple scenes of this episode.
Yes.
Like when they go to dinner with their dad, she looks so pretty. And her hair was done just right with her little barrette and everything else, and then you've got it just.
Her little clip when her and Pacey are having their conversation at the end.
Yes.
Just her little half back clip. It was cute.
Right. She looked pretty.
But what I find so fun about their relationship is that there is this underlying, like, competitive nature between the two of them, not in a negative way, but it's like, even with their apology, they're like, no, I'm apologizing to you.
It's a stubborn form of competition.
Yeah, but it's sweet at the same time. And he's like, will you just shut up and let me apologize to you?
Well, I think that's also part of why neither one reached out to each other. It's not always sweet.
Oh, no.
It can work against you, but it's part of what fuels their relationship too. Yes.
But she admits, I think I've tried to mold you into somebody that I wanted you to, into somebody you're not, and who I expected you to be. But who he is enough. And she says that I don't, because she says, I need a partner. What did she say before? I don't need
a knight in shining armor or a hero or something.
But I need a partner.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a very mature conversation.
It was.
He says that he's sorry too. He says it first, and he didn't want to add to her problems. And then when she apologizes, he says,
I'm always losing to you.
Always losing to you. Then he cups
because
her
he
face.
says, how was your apology better than mine?
He cups her face and they kiss. And then he pulls away and says, I take that back. I'm the winner here.
It was sweet.
And kisses her forehead. Jack does, when he is yelling at his dad,
Yes.
And he's telling him to ask the question again, and the dad's refusing basically because he doesn't want to hear the answer. And Jack is like, "You know,
Mm-hmm.
you have known. You
Yes.
can't even look at me. You
Yes.
know." I thought it was a really important important scene between them because
Mm-hmm.
it's he's pointing out the root of where their problem kind of starts between
Yeah.
father and son. It's like, you can't look at me.
Mm-hmm.
This is where your disappointment really comes from with me,
Mm-hmm.
is that Tim, like you said, Tim is the real son, and then there's me. I can't hide behind Tim anymore, as the dad says. And he knows, you know.
Right. And you bringing up that he says that you can't even look at me, I feel like that underscores the dad's comment at dinner about people see you now
Mm-hmm.
because Tim's not there.
Mm-hmm.
So, in other words, if the dad had Tim to look at, he didn't have to look at Jack.
Mm-hmm. You have to pay attention.
No. And in many cases, it may be that the dad is projecting the idea that, you know, Tim's gone, you've got more eyes on you now, just because now he's forced to look at Jack
Mm-hmm.
because Tim's gone.
You know, this is a much smaller scale because obviously I haven't had to deal with coming out. But just the topic of disappointment
Mm-hmm.
and feeling like your parents are disappointed, because that was always the worst thing for me. You can
Same.
yell at me, you can ground me and whatever, be mad at me, but if you say you're disappointed in me,
Mm-hmm.
oh my gosh, it cuts so deep. But I can remember sitting at the top of the stairs at home and like finally saying something else had happened. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't like I had we had this fight. It's like I was emotional that day or something,
Yeah.
and I flew off the handle, and I finally said the words like, "I'm sorry that I have done all of this and disappointed and spent all this money and I couldn't even do it." And because I thought that I needed to live up to something, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'd always had great grades and done so well in school, and then all this, different podcast. And I said the word, "I feel like I have disappointed everybody."
Mm-hmm.
And I remember them going, "What?
Yeah.
Nobody thinks that." But I thought that, and
Mm-hmm.
so it felt like this giant thing across my forehead, and I felt like everybody else felt that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Jack deals with that a little bit, like he's fighting it, and he knows deep down, he knows
Mm-hmm.
this about himself, and he's fighting it,
Mm-hmm.
not hiding, he's fighting it to try and make it not true.
Mm-hmm.
And he feels like everybody can see it, so he is overcompensating in ways
Mm-hmm.
with Joey.
I know.
And so he's confronted with it again when his dad shows up, and he knows he's such a disappointment to his dad.
Mm-hmm.
And I just can't imagine if my parents had been like, we are so disappointed that you couldn't do this, or you are this way, or
Mm-hmm.
I just can't imagine.
Mm-mm.
And I was in my 20s, so I definitely can't imagine it at 16.
Mm-mm.
And I did some stupid stuff at 16.
It makes me think about a scene from the Nobody Wants This show.
Mm-hmm.
I know I've talked to you about it before, but it's where Morgan goes to the bathroom and she's been crying and Bina is in there, and it's where
I
she
have seen that episode.
has been upset about what the guy told her about herself.
Mm-hmm.
And Bina basically tells her that, I don't think that you're upset or that it hurts because these people actually think that it's true.
Mm-hmm.
It's because you think it's true,
Mm-hmm.
or like that you believe that about yourself. And that's ultimately the root of that problem.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's the root of a lot of problems.
It is. And it's how do you get out of your own head enough to gain a new perspective and see it in the right light, and not, self-condemnation. Which is why your mind is such a battlefield, and why mental health is so important. Mental hygiene, I feel like, needs to be a term instead of just mental health, because I've heard somebody say before, no stinking thinking about, if all you're doing is thinking negative thoughts and stuff like that, it's time to figure out how to set those things aside and regroup and start over.
I think that's why it's so important to talk, to say things out loud, because what my problem becomes is when I'm just thinking it over and over,
ruminating on it.
Yes, and then it just starts festering, and I internalize it, and I hold on to it until it just comes. And when you think it over and over, it's almost like, not almost, it is. You start thinking, it's like it gets twisted in your head that someone else has said that. It wasn't just in your head. This came from somewhere else.
Right.
Just for me.
They say your brain can't decipher between you saying a lie to yourself and you saying the truth. So if you think it, it's like your brain believes it, even though if you know it's false, it's deeper than that. So, telling yourself negative stuff is a dangerous thing.
Really just kind of scratching the surface of like when we have the thoughts about ourselves and we just continue. But then when you've got people who are also dealing with, they're hearing this from other people.
Right, and people are picking on him at school.
Yes. And I mean, even Pacey, like his hearing these things from his family. And so when you hear it from, you start to
think, well, it has to be true.
Yes. Is this true about me? Nobody could actually ever think anything else of me. And it's really, you get labeled with things.
And you start to wear it.
And that is your identity. And it's the longer you wear that label,
the deeper the roots.
Harder it is, yes, to change that label, to tear it off, to replace it with something new.
To dig it up.
And honestly, you can do that, and it does not mean it's gone forever. You have to, it's a constant thing. It's a constant battle. And it's a constant thing to remind yourself, not just fill yourself with positive thoughts, but honestly, we're not going to shy away from it. It's important. That's why it's important to remind yourself of what God says about you and how He created you.
That's what I was about to say. That's why it's important to know Scripture
and be rooted in that, and what your identity is in Him.
To have a foundation of knowing that what the Lord says about me or about you, in order to fight off those negative thoughts. Because when you have one negative thought, you need to replace it with a truth or positive way. Like you need
to combat it.
Yes. And again, that comes back to your mind as a battlefield. So
definitely.
Well,
I want to hug these characters.
I know. And then, not to skip over the final thing, like, Joey's set up this whole candlelit romantic evening, and he comes early. She's not done lighting all the candles. He's like, oh, you shouldn't have done that. You really didn't have to.
But she is even trying so hard. It's like, if she can do enough, it won't be true, because she's been questioning it. So it's not like she is in complete denial because she has been questioning it. It's like, if I just do enough, maybe I can change this, or maybe it won't be true.
Right. It's as if her performance will equate to whether he is or isn't. And again, she's finding, or at least she's somehow bearing this burden and feeling like it's affecting her identity as to whether or not he is gay or he isn't. And at the end of the day, that is not her shoe to wear.
No, but again,
I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's not. And I do think that she does get over that.
Right. And
quickly.
It makes me feel like, too, she might be doing it, even trying in some aspect, in her own way, to try to help him, like in a public, or like an optics way, or I feel like I keep saying that word a lot.
To like a relationship with him?
Well, just if if she can do this whole romantic
Mm-hmm.
evening with him, or if they can have this romantic evening that makes him look like, for all these people that keep making ugly comments
Yes.
and everything, that she can help make him appear less gay, or like that she can help him in some
that's
way.
what that kiss was last episode.
Right.
Her going up. Yeah, definitely.
Yes. But, he comes early, he tells her you didn't have to, and then he says something and she's like, okay, just be honest. I mean, she knows.
Mm-hmm.
She knows. Please, God, just get it over with, basically. And then he tells her that he told his dad he's gay this morning. And Joey says, you are? Like.
And he says, well, I don't
waffles.
He does.
He goes all over the place. And then she's like, just tell me the truth.
She said, yes, she says, tell me the truth. But then he says, well, I don't. And she says, you're not? And he says, I mean, maybe. And she says, part gay? And she says it seriously, and he starts to laugh, and she says, don't laugh at me.
No.
And I like that. I mean, like, that's true. She's trying to understand this, and he doesn't fully understand it. So how's he going to help someone else?
But then when she finally said, are you? And he just shakes his head yes. Mm-hmm. He didn't say the word. He just shakes his head yes. Mm-hmm. And then he tells her that she's been such a good friend to him. Boom, friend zone. Mm-hmm. After being boyfriend, girlfriend, kind of whatever. And that he doesn't want to lose her. And it just gets really weird. Because, I mean, she's trying to be as gracious and compassionate as she can. He's just trying to navigate a fully foreign territory.
Yeah.
And then he tries to reach across the table to hold her hand, and she gives him a finger. But she doesn't even hold his hand back. It's just sitting there.
He's just holding her, yeah.
It's so awkward.
And then she goes,
okay, girl, just he don't got cooties. Okay. Yeah. You can hold his hand back. Right. Just hold his hand back. Like, be the good friend he just told you you've been. Please. Yeah.
She just can't see past how it makes her feel and look right now, though, which I do think is pretty.
Yeah, but I'm not going to let you just awkwardly. Yeah. Hold my finger.
Well, okay. Now, what I will say for this girl is I am a pretty awkward person. So it's like, this bomb has just been dropped, even though there's been a little bit of pretense and it's been coming. Yeah. And I know it's been coming. Now he's sitting right across from me, though, and bam, it's finally out there. And my hand is just sitting there, and he reaches across. I can see myself being like, I don't know what you want me to do.
Yes, but
honestly, I probably would have been the one that's like, like I also have that social awkwardness sometimes.
I know, okay? I can see you doing that too. But
thank you.
I don't know. It just.
It was awkward because the camera really focused on it.
It's supposed to be. I realize. Okay, we're supposed to feel as uncomfortable as we are.
Yeah,
get it, but it just.
But you know what? Before, okay, this is backing up just a tad. When he finds her at school after he has told his dad,
he
finds her at school, and she is putting on this whole facade of like, rain check, tonight, they kiss. Okay, yeah, that's gross. But
I wrote in all caps awkward.
Before he gets to her, you can see the camera shows him walking. He looks completely different. He almost
some relief. Yes, and he's happy.
Yes. This is the Jack that we love as the show goes on.
Yes. I mean, you can tell that once he's gotten some of the weight off his shoulders of telling his dad, coming out to his dad, you can see it, and it's like, but to me, though, there's this weird moment after he kisses her, and it's not like she kissed him. He kissed her. He didn't have to, truthfully. Let's just throw that out there.
Pick.
It didn't seem like it was even necessarily just like a habit. It just, I don't know. In the way it was written, personally, it felt a little forced, but whatever.
Their whole relationship has felt forced.
It has, but it's not like the girl needed any reassurance from you to kiss her before she goes off. You've just
she already thinks you're gay.
Well, she's questioned it, but she's
questioned a lot. She knows.
But the thing is, she's already like, okay, our rain check, our romantic evening is back on. Like that's all that she wanted or needed out of that. But he smiles after kissing her for this moment, and then his face falls. That was confusing to me. Because it's like, okay, wait, you're smiling so big after just kissing her, who you don't actually find. You may find her on some level attractive, because you wouldn't be where you are right now if you hadn't at all.
Even personality wise, like friendship. I mean, you can find friends attractive. Like that friendship is, anyways, too deep. But yes, go ahead.
But no, it just that to me was almost like, okay, wait, why are you? Was there almost a moment of like regret that he just kissed her because it's technically almost like leading her on? Or is it like, oh God, I regret doing that because I really didn't like it? Or like there's so many questions that ran through my mind in that moment.
Yeah.
I don't know. But ultimately, we know that it ends.
Yeah.
With Joey running back to Dawson and crying.
He's just chilling.
Yeah.
He's just chilling. He doesn't even know
He's
what
in his own
happening.
little world.
He is. He doesn't even know what's happened with his friends.
No, but she comes through that window. He knows what's wrong.
Yes, he does.
He already knows.
Do you know what? Katie Holmes has this habit when she cries on this show. She starts crying, her face scrunches up, and she immediately does this with her hand on the side of her head. Yeah. She does it every time. That's not a criticism. I just have noticed it. It's like what she does. And it's, anyways, do you want to spin a wheel?
Sure.
It's your turn.
I know, it is my turn.
Okay.
Man, there was a lot in this episode.
There was. Oh my gosh.
Okay, it's rapid fire. Which character would thrive in today's world?
Ooh. Where we are right now in Dawson's Creek, like season 2, which one would thrive? I think
we already know you think that Pacey would thrive.
Oh, Pacey's thriving no matter what.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a given. He's not who I was going to say, though. I was either going to say Andie or Jack.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I mean, I think that Andie is a hustler. I think she is a go-getter, and she would be thriving in this world.
In some ways, Jen might.
She might. But it wouldn't be what we would think, like the popular of it now. It would be more like, almost like her and Peyton Sawyer from Winter Hill are kind of in the same category. Yeah. It would just be like,
I hadn't even thought about
get back at the man type thing. Like, going against the grain.
Yep, okay. Who would dominate AIM away messages?
Oh my gosh. Away.
And for anybody too young to know what AIM away messages are, shame on you.
Instant Messenger.
It's AOL Instant Messenger.
I did.
Which I did,
and
MSN.
I had Messenger.
I did MSN Messenger too, and I had Yahoo Messenger.
Yeah.
But I was mainly on my AOL account.
But you had to be on the computer.
Yeah, you did.
Oh my gosh,
I had so many away messages.
But okay, this is so against the rapid fire. We are not being rapid, but I love the nostalgia of it because I can remember like talking to a crush on there. Just like the butterflies.
And
seeing when they were on.
When they would sign on and the sound that it made, and then when they got off, and it's like, oh no. But then they came back. It's like, oh, which storyline screams 90s drama?
I think where we are right now, it's the fear of coming out for Jack.
Yeah, I agree.
Just because of the time.
And then favorite 90s snack.
My gosh, I was 7. I don't know. That's hard. I think just as a kid, I'll say this. As a kid, we were real big on like fruit by the foot.
Oh, yeah.
Like the long.
Oh, yeah.
You know? So we had those in our lunch boxes, and that would have been elementary school. So that would probably be, we had to have those. We were sour kids. Like we liked sour stuff.
Well, we were at the mercy of what my mom would or wouldn't buy. It didn't matter what we liked.
Well, I've already told you my story about going to the grocery store. If they weren't going to buy it, I was just going to eat it there. So,
Yeah.
I already told that one.
Yeah, I know. Did you have a favorite 90s cartoon?
Probably, it would have been the 90s. I'm trying to think about the time. We were staying at Margot's, like, while my mom was working. So, we watched a lot of, like, we watched a lot of Blue's Clues, Rugrats, and Cat Dog. Those would have been, like,
My
the big
sister
ones.
loved Blue's Clues. But
Yeah.
that
That would have been more like Jamie
yeah.
being younger, but it was on at like, so we were. I mean, I remember like me and Josh would sit there and watch it, even though we were older.
Mm.
And then like, so then it became this thing of like, where'd Steve go? Steve went off to college. Who's this Joker Joe? He's terrible. Like it was just, oh, you don't know the lore of Blue's Clues. Anyways, keep going.
Well,
yeah,
I was gonna say I love Tom and Jerry and like some of those cartoons. And I'm sure that I'm gonna forget something. But you can laugh. And I don't know if this falls in the 90s or 2000s.
yeah. See it,
but
it's all the
I
same.
used to love Sailor Moon.
Never heard of that.
It was like a Japanese. It has like a Japanese origin, but I'm sure if I showed you a picture of her that you'd know who I'm talking about.
You know what my favorite show? It's not a cartoon. I've never heard of that. Did you ever watch? I promise.
Okay.
Did you ever watch Gullah Gullah Island?
That sounds familiar.
Oh my gosh, with the big giant yellow and red frog.
Okay, wait, maybe not.
And it was this family.
It sounds familiar, but I don't.
They were the Gullah people, and like they were like tanky tanky for thank you. Oh my gosh. It came on Nickelodeon.
Nope,
You didn't watch Nickelodeon. But it was
I didn't get
it was
to
like
watch
a wholesome.
Nickelodeon.
It was a wholesome show, it wasn't.
No, right.
But it was not a cartoon.
Right.
But I loved Gullah Gullah Island.
Yeah, Michelle.
That's not the right tune. I don't know what just came. I gotta find it. Hold on.
I know
you've got my phone.
Here. I know that Blue's Clues wasn't that Nickelodeon?
Yeah, Nick Jr. or something.
Yeah, like I said, Kelsey got to watch that, but Rugrats was like a bad word in our house.
We loved Rugrats.
And some others, but
Rugrats. I gotta find this. This is Gullah Gullah.
I feel like I'm probably forgetting something.
Okay.
Oh yeah, no, I've never seen that. Let's play together in the bright sunny weather.
What was your MVP moment?
All right, I think I'm gonna have to give it to Grams. There were lots of big moments in this episode.
Yeah,
but I think it's got to go to Grams because that was a really deep conversation, or just a deep topic that really mattered a lot. So,
yeah,
my runner-up would probably have to be Andie comforting Jack and kicking her dad out. Yeah, that's good too.
Siblings sticking together.
I'm sorry.
I said mine. Yeah, I said mine earlier in the episode. It was Dawson and what his response is to Joey when she asks, "Am I sexual?"
Yeah,
which is such an awkward question, but I know I understand what she means by it.
Yeah,
because it's stemming from Jack and his own struggles. But so that would be mine. Okay, I'm ready to hear your rating.
All right, so I'm giving this one a 7.
Okay.
Which I think might be the first time I've given something a 7.
So. Yeah,
but it's mainly because of my 2 favorite scenes in the episode. You know, the 3 of them together at the table and, you know, cutting up with each other, and the scene with Grams. So
one scene can make or break the episode. And I always give extra points when the whole cast is together doing something, so I completely understand. I really went back and forth between an 8 and a 9 on this one, but I am going to give it an 8. But it is still at the top of all the 8s I've ever given. So this was a good one.
I think this one was my favorite so far.
That's a high honor coming from you.
We've talked about it. This was a very packed episode, but it wasn't like it may have been some deep topics, but it wasn't like a heavy episode. There were emotional moments, yes, but I feel like it had a good balance of, jovial, funny, and like real problems.
Yeah.
Season
2 is so good. I can't believe I'm saying that.
I know it.
And that's a wrap on today's episode. If you loved hanging out with us, make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube, where you can watch this full video, and follow us on Spotify so you never miss a rewatch. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok for clips, behind the scenes moments, and all the nostalgia your heart can handle. Leave us a comment, rate the show, share the episode with a fellow roomie. It truly helps more than you know, and we love hearing from you. We'll be back every Tuesday and Thursday with more laughs, more nostalgia, and of course, more rewatches. Until then, keep the remote close, the memories closer, and always be kind. Rewind and press play again. Bye, roomies.
Bye. Roll the credits. Press play again. 2 roommates, 1 remote is fully DIY. Editing, us. Producing, also us. Recording, yep, still us. Posting it everywhere, shockingly, us again. 2 roommates, 1 remote, 0 team. So please clap accordingly. Thank you very much.